Hello guys, today we're going to be working on this front load Kenmore washer. The model number is on the display. And the complaint that we have is that it's leaking water and it looks like they put something inside the washer to create this big hole. Welcome to DIY Repair Now. Read all the warnings, and during this video you will see one or more of these icons to help you do this repair safe. So today we're going to be replacing this rubber booth, and this is the reason why it's leaking a lot of water like inside the washer, then it goes to the floor, and then it was a big mess. They told me they put something inside, they ripped the booth off. So we're going to proceed to take the washer machine apart to be able to replace the rubber booth. Now the first thing you need to do is disconnect the washer to avoid electric shock. And then we're going to go ahead and move the machine forward to be able to access the back screws. This washer machine use Torx screws. I believe it's a T16 or T15 Torx screws. I believe you guys know what type of screws are those, or you can just search it on Google. And you can buy a pack with all different sizes or screwdrivers with different sizes, and then you will be able to get that top panel off. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove the detergent drawer. It will have like a press and release button. As you see right there, you just press that piece and it will come right off. And now we're gonna use our Phillips bit with our drill, or you can use a screwdriver. And like I said, it's a Phillips, and just remove the two screws that are holding this part of this dial panel, touch panel, and remove the screws on the top. After you remove those screws, you're gonna go ahead and release this panel from the housing. Luckily I have some nails to put my hands in there. Sometimes if you can do it with your fingers and it will come right off. Sometimes you have to use a screwdriver to release some tabs. You can pick in there and you will see there's some tabs that are holding this panel, and sometimes, like I said, it will come really easy, but sometimes it will give you a little bit of headache. So in this case, I haven't done this washer in a long time, and running a little bit of complications. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave everything here in case you're running the same situation. Now this ring, you need to be careful. You can just lose the top part of this ring because those tops breaks really easy. So it's no need to remove the whole ring because those tops will break, and then all that ring is gonna be loose. Now this part, I believe, is like a little clamp there. Don't remember correctly, and I don't think it's necessary for you to do anything there. Oh yeah, it's like a little clamp there, and then it will release this. But the bottom part is already off. It's the top part, the one it doesn't want to come out, but we'll figure it out in a minute. So try to use like a flathead screwdriver to start prying this part out, just little by little. Just do it in different sections, and try to start by that end, by the soap drawer. That is best, and try not to break anything. Now, like I said, I haven't done this washer in a little while. This washer is made by Whirlpool, by the way, and as you can see, it already released all the tabs and it comes right off, but the right side is still attached. And like I said, it did give me a little bit of headache because I didn't remember that the last tab is on the side. And as you see right there, I put my screwdriver there, and that's where it releases because it was attached to that tab right there. Once you release it from there, it will be all loose, and you have to disconnect two different harness that goes on the board. Now those harnesses, when you remove the panel, you will see it has like a little tabs as well, and you will press that as you see with the screwdriver, and it will release the harness from the board, and then you can move the whole panel away. Always take pictures to remember where those connectors go, because sometimes there are similar connections there. And thankfully I did take some pictures before I removed that, because when I was putting it back, I was confused, so it did help me. Now go ahead and remove the bottom panel. It's 3 screws that holds this bottom panel. Sometimes it will be 4 screws, and you will use Torx screws to be able to remove those as well. And over here you use a Phillip to remove those screws to release the front panel. It's attached to the door. I mean, the door is attached to it. Now we're gonna go ahead and start taking the screws that holds this top metal panel as well, and just remove that bucket, the water supply bucket, out of the way. And this is the last screw. You have to be careful. Try to have somebody to help you, because that piece, the front panel, is kind of heavy. So here's another tab that comes from the board. Just push it in and release this part. Now at this point I only have like 2 screws holding the top, but I want to go ahead and get the ring out to be able to release the booth from this front panel. As you see, just grab like a little nose pliers, and it will release. Just pull out, and then the ring will come out. Now this is the door switch harness. You can just disconnect it from the back. Just put your hand inside and disconnect it, but sometimes it's kind of hard to get to it, so I just remove the 2 screws and let it fall inside. Sometimes I find that more convenient than remove the harness, because you have to put your hand right there. This is the part that we are replacing. I'm gonna put a link in the description of this video, so if you can't see the part right there, the part number, just go on the link on the description of this video, and it will take you exactly to where you can get the part, and it will show you the part number as well. Now in this case, I'm replacing this booth, and I bought an aftermarket booth. As you see, you have to be careful because that's kind of heavy. Let's move that out of the way. As I was saying, I bought this booth on Amazon, and it's an aftermarket. It's a little bit different than the OEM. It did work, but I'm going to show you later on in this video that it's best to buy the OEM. So the link that I'm going to put in the description of this video is going to be the OEM, because I don't want you guys to go to all this work and then the booth, it will not fit, or you might not like how it's going to look. So as you see, this is the other ring that is holding the other part of the booth, and you have to use like a Phillips screwdriver to remove it out of the way, like so. Now just try to grab one of the sides and just pull down. Note the orientation of the new booth. It will have like a triangle there. I don't know if you can see it. Yep. And that means that triangle goes right in the middle of the top. So you see, has like a little triangle right there, and that means you have to align to that screw. That's how the other one was. That's how we're gonna put this one back in. Like I said, this rubber booth is very similar. It did work, but it was a gap there that I didn't like, and then it was some parts on the rubber booth that it were all bent. I mean, at this point, at the time that I'm editing this video, it's already been about 3 months. So after I did this repair, I haven't get any calls from this clients. So that means this repair was successful, but I just didn't like all the trouble that I run into it, because it's an aftermarket. It is probably the part number worked with more than one model, and that is the reason why maybe for this model it was a little bit different. Remember that this Kenmore is made by Whirlpool. I think I did mention that before. So maybe for the regular Whirlpool will work fine, but in this case with the Kenmore, it sticks out more, and then it was a gap that I'm gonna show you later. Now, as you should see, this have to align with that. I put this on slow motion, that way you guys can see where do I have to be lining up. It's like a little canal right there, and the rubber booth have to go above that. That way it grabs the drum. I mean the way it drops the tub, and then you put the ring in place. This is very self-explanatory. Like I said, just take pictures before you remove anything, and that will help you to install the new part. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the ring that holds the rubber booth with the tub, and make sure you tighten it enough, but try not to over tighten it, because you can end up making a damage on the rubber booth or the strap. Now I'm doing it here with my drill, but just to start up, you don't want to go ahead and put a lot of torque on that, because like I said, you can make a damage on the new part or the strap or clamp, however you want to call it. So try to use a flathead screwdrivers, and I believe you can use two different screwdrivers. You can use either a Phillips or a 5/8 screwdriver, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, in my case I use a Phillips screwdriver and my Phillips bit with my drill, and that did the trick. Once you get it tight enough, make sure to pull and make sure it doesn't come out. That way you know for sure that it's secured in place. Then go ahead and put this part of the water supply that comes from the bucket. You know, just put it in one side first and then put the other one. Remember, this is a rubber, so it's stretch, and then just make it reach to where it needs to be. You will see where the gasket, the rubber booth gasket, will stop when it reaches where it needs to be. Now it looks very secure in that position, and we're gonna go ahead and start putting everything back together. At this point we're pretty much done, and just put everything back the way you took it apart. I'm not gonna go ahead and put all the footage because I don't want this video to be too long or too boring. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Just put these two screws first and put the other one on the other side, just to make it hold it enough for you to put the door switch and then the rubber booth. As you see right there. At this point, like I said, just put the two screws on the bottom, and the bottom drawer, the bottom panel, the bottom panel, that has 3 screws. As you see right there, I already put the bottom part, but I didn't put it because it's the same footage as you took it apart. Now, once you put everything back, go ahead and put the very last top touch panel, and just make sure it clips all the tabs in place. You will hear like a clicking sound when it goes in place, and go ahead and put all your screws, yes, the way you took them off. Now I gotta say, I edited this video, but this job did take me quite some time. I would say about an hour and a half. Now I want to explain to you about this tape that you see right here. This is what I was telling you before. This new rubber booth had this part like all bent outside, and I want to make sure it was not gonna leak out, so I put some tape to make sure it was getting used to the glass. But after I finished, I took that off, and like I say, up to this day it's been working. But inside there it was a little gap that I didn't like. I don't know if you guys notice it. If you didn't, just go back to that part where you see the tape and you will see that there's a gap between the gasket and the door and the gasket all the way to the top. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put a link in the description of this video with the OEM part, not the aftermarket. After that, just go ahead and put all the screws that holds the top panel, plug the washer back in, and at this point I'm just testing removing this. As you see the gap right there, that's what I was telling you about. The gap was not like that. That's about an inch that you can see right there where the arrow is. And right now I'm just turning everything on. I'm gonna fast forward this part of the video, and everything worked fine after that. As you see here, it's doing all the clicking noises that all washer does when you first press start, and is trying to drain whatever water is in there to begin the cycle. If this video helped you in any way, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the bell to receive notifications. Thanks for watching.